Hi, you guys. Welcome back to our channel. All right, you guys, please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you can be notified each and every time I post or we post. All right, so you guys, the topic of today's video is going to be, all right, so you guys, the title of this video is going to be about when I pretty much checked myself into the mental institution because I was going crazy. So about probably 1 or 2 months ago, I checked myself into the mental institution. And what I will say is it was a process. I'm not really gonna get into like all of the details of everything that happened within I think I was there for like 2 or 3 days. I'm not going to get into everything that happened when I was there. But however, if you want me to, I can make another video and pretty much talk about day 1, day 2, and day 3 of being in a mental institution or whatever. But yeah. So my thing is, I would totally, like, as far as recommending it, I feel like I'm 50-50. I'm half and half with it. I feel like I wouldn't recommend it, but I feel like I would recommend it. I would recommend it simply because of the fact that I feel like it is something that can help you rather short term or long term as far as getting yourself some mental health. Because you could be freaking out and going so crazy to the point where you want to commit, suicide or homicide. If you ever get to that point where you feel like you want to commit suicide or homicide, I do feel like in that situation, you should go get yourself some help. You should go to the mental institution. I think that yesterday was Mental Health Awareness Day or something like that. I think it was Mental Health Awareness Day. I'm not sure, but I think it was though. But like I said, I would recommend anyone to get themselves some help if they are feeling homicidal or suicidal. If it's an emergency situation, get yourself some help. And I'm not talking about, go to the emergency room, go to the hospital. No, go to the actual mental institution and get yourself some help. If you tell them that you are feeling suicidal or homicidal, they will lock you up. You can't just go in there and just not say, you can't just go in there and say, I think I'm a little bit suicidal, homicidal. They are still going to lock you up regardless. Sometimes it's easy to leave. Sometimes it's hard to leave. It just depends on your situation and stuff like that. I was there for 3 days. I had planned on being there for a week, but I really didn't have childcare for real. But honestly, I do wish I would have stayed. Because when I got out, I had more mental breakdowns. More mental challenges. And it was just a lot. It was a whole lot that I was going through before I committed myself. And it was a whole lot that I was going through after. Yes. So, I've been debating on over the past 2 months if I wanted to make this video or not. But I don't know. I just feel like venting and I just feel like being vulnerable, I feel like vulnerability can sometimes be a disadvantage because the people on YouTube, they like to be very rude, ignorant, mean, vile, evil, and wicked in the comments. But I feel like it's an advantage too because you got to think about it. Somebody else out there might be struggling with their mental health and they feel like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to turn. Just know you can always reach out to me personally. You can always reach out to me. Try to find that safe space. If you don't have that safe space, create that safe space. If you are feeling down, depressed, sad, suicidal, homicidal, reach out to me. I can talk to you. I can help you with resources and stuff like that. Um, it's something that's called suicide hotline. It's a hotline for like suicide. But then I began to ask myself, where's the homicidal hotline? There's no hotline for that, right? No, it's just a suicide hotline. But you know what? You know what really made me think about that? The rapper J. Cole. The rapper J. Cole, he pretty much said the same thing. Like, it's a suicide line, but where's the homicidal hotline? You know, where's that line? Because when someone is feeling that way, they would like that they would love to have that line. It would probably decrease the chance of people unaliving each other if we had that homicidal hotline. Just like as far as, suicidal. That gets decreased. Not a lot, but it gets decreased because of the suicide hotline. That line has saved my life before. A few times. One time they had to call the ambulance because, the situation that happened then. That was like before I started having my children. But what I will say is my experience of being in a mental institution, I give it a 3 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10. And the reason why I give it 3 stars is simply because I love the fact that I went there and I was just surrounded by, it just seemed like I was surrounded by good people. Some of the people was good, some of the people was not so good. But I just love the fact that we don't have no phones, no cell phones, no social media. We don't have none of that. Only thing we had was one TV. One TV. Now the channel that they had it on the whole time was questionable because why you got these suicidal and homicidal people in here watching this? It was like the little crime shows and stuff like that. It's just crazy. And then they had the coloring books with the pencils and the color pencils and stuff. And it's like, why would y'all have this out? So one of the color pencils needed to be sharpened. So I went out and asked the lady, can you sharpen the color pencil? She got the color pencil and she hid it from me. I'm guessing she thought I was gonna, Why y'all even got color pencils out here? Like, they had so many items that we could have just used. But everybody was in a room together. It was me and like 6 or 7, 8 other people. And at one point it was probably 9 or 10 other people. We all had to sleep in the same room. Which is, common, because if you check yourself into a mental institution and if you tell them that you are suicidal, that's where they're going to put you, in a room where the people can monitor you and then everybody be in a room together. I didn't like that because I realized it was people in there that was a little bit more, I don't like to say the word crazy or crazier, but it was people that was a little bit more mentally challenged than me, or way more mentally challenged than me. Just like one of the guys, he was in there, he was way more mentally challenged than me, and he just kept harassing me the whole night. Like, I didn't want to talk. I was so depressed, sad, and suicidal, and it's like I didn't want to talk to nobody at all. He just kept talking to me, kept asking me questions. What are you here for? How long are you here for? This, that, and the third, blah, blah. He never did say, hi, I'm such and such. What is your name? He just came to me and just started asking y'all my business, and it just made me feel weird. I already felt weird in a way because I was surrounded by mostly men, grown men or older men. And it's just, I didn't feel comfortable or safe. And then even though he saw that I didn't really want to talk, he kept talking to me, kept harassing me. But then at some point, I woke up and realized he was laying right beside me. So I was like, I started to move my couch down a little bit because, we have the little recliner couches. I think they call them elderly couches. So I wanted to move mine down a little bit, but I didn't. But I found out that he was way more mentally challenged than me simply because he woke up multiple times, throwing stuff, hitting stuff, kicking stuff. Just, it was so much. And I was thinking to myself, like, oh my God, I'm so scared. And then my anxiety, I have bad anxiety. I have bad anxiety. So I just didn't feel safe, especially with him kept getting up, doing all these things. And everybody just tried to make it seem like it was just normal. And I understand this is a mental institution. You're going to see that. But the whole 3 days that I was there, I saw that so many times. But then, so yeah, I didn't feel comfortable with him sleeping right beside me. And I didn't feel comfortable with, another situation that went on. So I went up to them. I was kind of like crying a little bit. And I was like, I don't feel safe. I really don't feel safe. Can you please, like, can I go home? Can I go home? They didn't let me go home, but they did give me a room to myself. But they had to make sure that I wasn't suicidal anymore before they gave me my own room, which was great. Because, of course, they just want to make sure that I'm good. But even if I was, like, I got to get out of here. You got to give me my own room. So they gave me my own room, and they left the door open the whole time. Yeah. So I give it a 3 out of 10 because it was just very uncomfortable. As far as the bathroom, it was very uncomfortable. The restrooms was so uncomfortable because every time I would go in there, I would notice, because like I said, I was the only female besides one lady, and she would sleep the whole time. It was me and another lady. The rest of them was just men, whole bunch of men. So every time I would go in there, I noticed that someone would put the toilet tissue on the floor. By me being a female, I cannot wipe myself with toilet tissue that's just on the floor. I mean, no one should want to wipe themselves with toilet tissue that's on the floor, right? Am I right or am I wrong? Leave that down in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel about that. But at some point, I had to ask them for my own toilet tissue because I'm like, I know I came to y'all like 3 or 4 times asking for another roll of tissue. But every single time y'all give me tissue, they put the tissue on the floor again. Can I please have my own tissue? And they proceed to give me my own toilet tissue, which was amazing, which was great. I wasn't comfortable as far as the shower. The shower water was so cold. The mental institution place reminded me of jail. And the reason why I say this is because, there's no shower rod. There's no shower. There's nothing. No shower cap, no shower rod, no shower curtain, which I can expect that. But, however, the water, like the longer I had the water on, the more the water would go all over the floor, outside of the door, and I had to clean that up when I was done eventually. And like I said, the water was so cold. I didn't have no shower cap or nothing. I have long hair, so, that was just very hard. They give you soap inside a little bitty small, like a little, like those little glass shot cups. They put you a little bit of soap in there. And this is the soap that you wash your hands with. Yeah. I asked for an extra cup because I just wanted to make sure I was clean. But the water was so cold, I know I wasn't clean after that. I was a little bit clean, but not that much. As far as toothbrush and toothpaste, you get like a little 80-cent toothbrush and a little bitty toothpaste that's like this big. And you brush your teeth with that. That was really good. That was really helpful. But yeah, I just wasn't comfortable because the water, it was so cold. And I was like, is this a prison? Like I was saying to myself, is this a prison or a mental health institution? Because I would think that if I'm checking myself in a mental health institution, it would be a little bit better. But the living conditions was so horrible. When I say horrible, you won't believe the things I saw, and you won't believe the things that I've experienced. But yeah, so it was just a rough experience for me. I do appreciate the people that did help me, but there was a lot of people in there that talked to me in a condescending way that was very disrespectful, rude, ignorant, and just some of the workers was just very trash. And also the food was trash. They would give us cold food. And I'm not talking about just room temperature food. I'm talking about cold food. They gave me spaghetti one day and it was very, very cold. All of the food that they gave us was very, very nasty, very, very cold. And it didn't have an ounce of seasoning on it. I felt like I was going even more crazier being in that mental institution house. But what I will say is I love the fact that I couldn't access my cell phone. I couldn't access social media. Social media and my cell phone is probably the number one thing that drives me crazy. By me being a content creator, People say evil, mean, wicked, vile, and rude comments to me every day. So that is the number one reason. Number two reason is lack of child care. Number three reason is I'm struggling in my marriage. Me and my husband, we are struggling right now. We are having a difficult time in our marriage. And as far as child care, like, it's difficult. Everything, it just seems like everything is difficult. I lost my 2 nose rings. I lost my 6 wedding rings and 6 engagement rings. It just seems like, I don't want to say I lost everything, but within the past few weeks, a few months, it just seemed like I'm losing everything. I had like two necklaces that was real expensive. Like, all of my jewelry is beginning to just fade away. It just seemed like everything around me, like I'm just losing it. And like, I bought hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars of jewelry, but it just seemed like most of it is gone now. I'm struggling with my childhood trauma. It just seemed like I don't know. It's just that childhood trauma. It just, even though I'm working on healing, sometimes it creeps up on me, and I hate it. I hate it. But let me just say, being in a mental institution, what I will say is, if you feel homicidal or suicidal, go get yourself some help and commit yourself. If you are not feeling homicidal and suicidal, do not go to a mental institution. What I prefer to you is, I prefer that you go get you some counseling, some individual therapy. And if you are married, some family therapy, some family counseling. Individual and family counseling is essential in your life. Individual and family therapy is very essential. If you are not suicidal or homicidal, go get that therapy. Go get therapy. And I know it's easier said than done, because a lot of insurances don't really cover it. I know. And then it's hard finding somebody to take your insurance. So you probably feel like you need to go get that emergency help. But they ain't gonna do nothing but force medicine down your throat. And then they test you for all kind of drugs. When you first get in there, they're going to ask you to pee in the cup. And then I asked, what are you testing me for? Every time I would ask, they was like, different types of medicines. No, just say you're testing me for different types of drugs. She just didn't want to say it. And she had an attitude the whole time anyway. And every time I would tell her something, she would look at me, and then she'll look at the other lady out the side of her eye, and then look back at me, and then look at the lady outside her eye. Like, lady, I see you. And I see what you're doing. You're making me feel very uncomfortable, and I'm reaching out to y'all for help. And I'm very vulnerable. If I'm vulnerable and reaching out for help, why would you keep looking out the side of your eye, looking at the other lady, trying to make it seem like I'm lying, or trying to make it seem like I'm just, I don't know, like, it just was really against me. I really didn't like that. But if you're going to test me for drugs, let me know what you are testing me for. And if I ask, just give me the answer. Like, don't lie to me. It's just crazy. But if y'all want to know the full story on that whole experience, let me know down in the comments. But thank y'all so very much for watching this video to the very last end. Like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so y'all can be notified each and every time we post on this channel. And let me know down in the comments if you have watched this video to the very last end. Thank y'all so much. Now y'all know, after every single video, I gotta do me a little photo shoot. It ain't me if I don't do no photo shoot after my video, you guys, because you know I gotta get that thumbnail. So I'm gonna do me a good old photo shoot after a video, y'all. Yes. Trying to figure out which thumbnail I want to use though.